Hey everybody, what's up? It is 8 o'clock Eastern. Good to see you. It's your friend James Shaw, and I'm so happy you're here. We are back and better than ever on this Grata Tuesday here inside of Pivot Shift Ahead. You know, I've been thinking a lot about this. We did our shift workshop last week. Put an emoji in the chat to describe how great the shift workshop was. You can do a frowny face and a thumbs down if you didn't like it too, but put an emoji in the chat to talk about how the shift workshop was because I hope you liked it. And what I have committed to do is to make sure that we are back to what this community was built for, which was talking about shift. This book right here, this book is so good, and it came out while I was a team leader. I talked about this on the workshop, and it became the manual for us inside of the Cary, North Carolina Market Center. Our market center had dropped from 110 agents to 89 agents in my first 60 days. We finished that year in 2009 with 89 people. But we ended up having the best fourth quarter that market center had ever seen in its history in a market that had completely fallen off the table. This is 2009. Why? Because we went all in on bold and we went all in on shift, and that's where I learned this book. And so when I created Pivot Shift Ahead back in March of 2020, the idea was to study this book. Well, the market did the opposite of it went and so we didn't necessarily need the tools in this book as much. But now we're feeling it. Many of you are seeing price declines. 110 of the top 300 markets have year-over-year price declines. Every single state in this country has inventory up year over year. Now, I'm sure it's that way in Canada too. I don't track the Canada numbers, but I'm sure it's like that in Canada as well. You're seeing inventory go up. Some of you have inventory that's way up. We've got to study this book. We've got to make sure we understand it. So you know what? For as long as I feel like it, like probably through December, we're just going to go page by page by page. Study, learn, grow, and get better. That's what we're going to do in here. And I hope you'll join us for it. It'll be great. Today we're going to be on page 15 talking about this resilience factor that you need in a shift. But before we do that, Patricia Cruz has something good for us. Good morning. Patricia Cruz, good morning.
Good morning. I'm sorry.
You're good.
The mute button
It
is
gets sticky.
difficult at this time. Well, first of all, happy birthday to the August people, which includes me too. And to say something good is I want to share that we just started yesterday for a year and a half teaching Ignite in Spanish. And we have agents from everywhere in the States and different countries. So I just want to thank you because part of this Ignite was an inspiration of what you have been doing in this call.
I'm
Thank
proud
you
of you
so much.
guys. I'm proud of you. Well done. Thanks for leading that. That is really, really awesome. Good stuff. Jenny Newmeyer, good morning.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I wanted to say as part of the top 10% of the Uvalde Market Center, sorry, I'm working out. I got to be in the room yesterday with Jordan Freed for the first time ever in my life. And it was incredible. And I learned a ton. And he called out so many people from this group, including you, James, and like Meg. And I just felt really, really grateful because I wouldn't have been in that room without this group and without you. And it was just a really incredible learning experience that I got to do for free, 6 hours with him. It was great. And he said, if you're not reading the Shift book, if you haven't read it, you shouldn't even be in this business. So I feel so blessed to be in this place right now on this call every day. Inspire is the best money I ever spent in my career. And I'm just really grateful for everybody in this group and for everything that you built. So thank you for allowing me to be in that room yesterday, James.
Congratulations. You did the work to get in there. Jordan's awesome. Love that guy. So I'm glad that you learned from him. And he's right about shift, which is why we're going back to it. We're going to go back to it and make sure we're learning it. And I'm glad you're an Inspire. Today, noon Eastern, Inspire members, social media for leads, not likes. Right? I want you to get leads in the pipeline from your socials. I don't really care if you get likes and comments. I want you to get leads. That's noon Eastern today, and that's going to be one that it's best if you're on it live, Inspire members, because we're just going to have a dialogue. We're just going to chat. I'm going to call on you and to share. You just raise your hand and say, I did this one. We'll pull it up, let people see what you've been doing. True mastermind, so you can get more business, your business. One more, Melissa, good morning.
Hi, good morning, everybody. So I'm really excited about I'm gonna share three things and make it quick. So one, I hired an admin, and she's lovely and put her through the process. I think she's going to be an amazing addition to the team. So she starts on August 19th. Number two, I've got beautiful third quarter packets going out to my clients and events for fourth quarter plans. Super excited about. And I can't wait to see you guys at Mega Camp. So if you're like, what is Mega Camp? I'm heading there and I just can't wait to get there. I'm excited to see everybody. So thank you, James, for
Have a
everything.
great time at Mega Camp. I'm sorry to miss it this year. I won't be there. Vicky will be there for me. So y'all have a great time in San Antonio. And Melissa, thank you for being on. I appreciate you. Let's get after it.
Good to see you all.
Let's get after it because bottom line is the market's slowing down. We're going to be under 4 million units maybe this year. Inventory is up in every state. Now, you might be in a spot, maybe you're in the Northeast or the Midwest, where days on market's still pretty quick, and you're probably in a seller's market when it comes to the amount of month supply of inventory and all that kind of stuff. And that's how it is in most places in the Midwest and in the Northeast. But in the Southeast and in out West, it's not that way. And for some of you, it felt like it changed overnight, which is what's going to happen in some other markets. It's going to feel like it's changing overnight. I mean, Leah just gave us an example in Cincinnati, which is a seller's market. Things are pretty tight. She's got a listing that the activity is slowed down on. That's how it happens. And you've got to, in order for you to get ahead, you have to act like the market that's coming, not the market you're in. You have to be ready to go. And so in Shift, page number 15, honestly, this page is the secret to success in a shifted market. This is the thing that we've got to understand. We'll talk about this too at Advance, if you come to Advance, which is our business planning event in November that we're doing here in Tampa. But on page 15 of Shift, Gary says that even though you know history repeats itself, in order to profit from it, you have to remember it. All right, so let's go back. Put in the chat a yes if you were selling back in 2007, 8, 9. Just let us know in the chat. You don't have to put a no if you weren't. Just put a yes if you were. Because we have been in shifted markets before. And so we can learn from our experience back then. And by the way, what we're experiencing today is nowhere close to what we experienced in 2008, 9, and 10. Today is much easier than back then. But we can learn from our lessons from the past. And if you weren't selling back then, we can learn from the experience of others. He says you have to carry the lessons from the past in the present. And the past has taught us that this too shall pass, and that success comes to the resilient. So what are you going to be? You have to be resilient, because that's who success comes to. Some of you don't have the number of closings you want or the number of listings you want, and you might be a little bit frustrated. And so this is your opportunity to choose to become resilient. And resilient people focus on winning the day. By winning the day, by doing the right activities, by using our point tracking system that we got from Brittany McAllister that we do inside of the Inspire Collective. By knowing what you need to do to win the day, you become resilient by winning more days than you lose. He goes on. Here's a tangible way to look at it. If your career goes 3 steps forward, but the market drives you 4 steps back, you're essentially below zero and out of the game. But if it's 3 steps forward and 3 steps back, well, all you've done is survive. But if it's 3 steps forward and the market drives you 2 steps back, then you're absorbing the hit. You're still in the game. The lesson from that to me is, honestly, I didn't know what a big fan Gary Keller was of Paula Abdul, but that's really cool that he does that whole song right there in that section. But here's the lesson in here, and I'll put it on the screen for you. And this is what's on page 15, but I also pulled this off of Keller Inc. And this is an exaggerated look at what a declining market looks like, right? And this is, their PDF is grainy. I don't know any other way to show it to you. It's a little grainy PDF, but this is what they gave us. This side here is your sales activity. This side here is time. If you consider this 2025, right here, the far right-hand side is 2025, the previous is 2024, and this is 2023. And you have a market that's just declining, fewer sales year over year over year. Your one job in 2025 is to hold the line. Just make sure that you sell as many homes this year as you did last year. If you grow, oh, happy day. 2 claps for you. But don't go down. Just at least hold. You did 24 deals last year, do 24 deals this year. Because if you do that, then you're winning. This is an example of the market driving back, but you holding firm. What Gary says is the key is to be resilient and on your toes. Take the hit, but don't get knocked out. Adapt to the realities of the new market quickly. Now, if you're in the Northeast and Midwest, you have a head start. You can make you can adapt now before you experience it. If you're in the Southeast or out West, you need to adjust. Quit ignoring the fact that the market is different today than it was a year ago. It is different. You must change what you need to change and do what you need to do. Now, we'll go into the next part of that tomorrow where he talks about building a fortress of what we have. But the lesson for today is hold the line. Don't let your business go backward. That's the lesson for today. Let's hear from a couple of people. I'm going to bounce around. Pat Wise, we don't hear from you every day, but you are one of the smartest human beings on the planet. It says so in your name. And you've experienced many markets. So, Pat, you get the first word. Good morning.
Well, I just want to say it is, making those calls every day. I'm looking at my little sign that says be boring. Make those calls. Basically, by making those calls every day, what you're doing is putting your leads in the bank. They may not happen this month, this week, today, but they will happen. And guess what? You need to eat next year too. So try to make those calls, not try to do, absolutely make those calls and double down on it every single day.
It's the bottom line. We got Anna Kruger. See, I have an Anna that works with me, and now I have an Anna that works with me, so I'm going to get them mixed up. But Anna Kruger told us yesterday, Pat, MREA says 75 contacts to a closing, and what she's tracking now is 150. You're telling us to double down. She's telling us to double down. The shift book tells us to double down on what works. Now, and somebody texted me the other day, oh, good. Well, my number is 0. And I said, why? Well, 2 times 0 is 0. Y'all, you're going to go broke. You're going to go broke. You got to get into some sort of rhythm and then double down on what works. Pat, thank you. Cheers to you. Donna Gilbert, good morning.
Good morning. I really raised my hand about the fortress, but that's tomorrow. But so this page is interesting. We've been on it over 14 times, and the information is always the same. What we're about to go into, and what some of us are already into, is actually the job of real estate. What we're about to enter into is what we should have been doing all the time. Some of us got in when we were past this and things were a little bit easier. So just like interest rates being at 3 and 4%, and everybody going, oh my God, they're at 7.
This is me.
7
Was...
Stand by, Donna.
That's
all right, Donna, go ahead.
7 was always kind of what the average was. That was the normal. We're swinging back to the normal. So learn the skills from this book and you will be fine. I have written in here, I don't know who said it. I was in some class and it says, I'm going to sell houses anyway. Just make that decision. This is the business you're in. You can do it. We can do hard things. And you are going to excel over everyone else who's like the sky is falling. This is the job.
That is a true story right there. Orly, you're next. Good morning.
Good morning. So resilience is about getting over adversity, and there's not one person on this call who has not gone through adversity, including the pandemic. The pandemic was not a free ride. It was not, that was to me the most challenging market when the world went crazy, we were shut down, and then then the market went crazy, and how do you deal with that? And then everybody and their mother got their license, and you're competing against people who don't know what they're doing. So we've all gone through all of that resilience. And when the market turns, my market is still good. However, in the last 2 months, I have seen it normalize and what I call leveling off. We're doubled in our inventory. We went from 10 to 21 homes in the town, which doesn't sound like a lot, but believe it or not, it does affect the buyer mentality, and the sellers haven't gotten the memo yet. So having PTSD from 2008, I'm very conservative and I'm trying to get ahead of it as far as pricing, because nobody wants to be left holding the bag. Because when you're left holding the bag, you're left with listings that are lingering and then expiring, and then your reputation. So this is a skills-based market. It is always a skills-based market, but it's about getting educated on this call and inspire, because then you'll know what to do. And if you're having a year where you're slipping back a little bit, When that happens to me, you know what I call that? I call that a foundational year. A foundational year is a year that's gone a little bit wonky, where I have to go back to basics. I have to get re-educated and hone on my skills, because our job is to educate and lead the market out there, not to follow it and just go with the flow. So get your skills. You've got all the information right here. You don't have to go anywhere else.
Orly, great share. Jack Smith, good morning.
Good morning, James. And I really can't espouse any more on what you have already heard. I think, but I'm going to go back to what Orly had said to us on the call a couple months ago. We're shifting into a normal market. But what I really have to say is you have been after us, or I'll speak for ourselves. In the calls that we've been on, I've heard that you after us to get listings, and not take, and take listings. But the other thing that we're learning is that when we're telling people exactly what the truth is, they don't want to hear it, but they're starting to listen. We've been working with 3 or 4 people over the past 2 months, and finally they're listening and going to do what we have to say because they need to go on with their lives. But I cannot thank you enough for all you have done to make me and the team understand it's totally a price war and a beauty contest. We say it all the time. We say it to people. They look at us like we got 6 heads. But the bottom line is we've espoused what you've taught us to do. And you started with this, quite frankly, when you started this call in 2020. Get busy, go to work. And I think the favorite line in this chapter, or this chapter you're talking about, is page 17 is, are you ready? Are you willing? And that's the key. Let's get after it. Thank you, James.
Our calls over the next several weeks are going to look very similar to the calls we had in 2020 in the beginning of this of the pandemic and when I started the community, because you've got to make changes to the way you're running the business in order to thrive in a market like this. And I'm done with the "but that's not happening here" argument that I'm getting from people. It's going to happen in your community. The inventory is going to rise. Price appreciation is going to slow. It may even become negative, and because it's happening in so many places, and every month it's happening in more. Remember, at the beginning of the year, it was 31 markets. 31 of the top 300 had year-over-year declining prices. It's now 110. That's just in 7 months' time. And it's not to freak anyone out. It's not a sky is falling. It's not a woe is me. The market is the market, and we can't do anything about the market. But you have to participate in it in a way that it allows you to succeed. There's enough business for you to hit your goal if you do the right things, and it just requires you to adapt. That's the bottom line. Jess, good morning.
Oh, I thought others were in front of me. Good morning. So I would also encourage you guys, like, remember the things that bring you joy and the things that you're good at. If you have to make a list of the things you're good at when you bring in business, do more of those things. Just double down on the things that you were successful at when you were getting the most amount of business. If you are not good at golden letters, if you are not good at calling expireds, then don't do that. But if you are really good at networking on the golf course, then book more tee times and book more people to go with you. Don't just go with the same people. Have them invite new friends. Build your database each time and add them to your database to be building more and more contacts so that you can get more pieces of business. Just be super intentional with the time that you have and network within your community. Figure out the things that you're good at and double down on those things. Don't just keep reinventing the wheel and trying to do new things, because that might not be the right fit for you. And make sure you're focusing on the things that have worked in the past. Think real hard on what has worked in the past and just do more of that. You don't have to keep reinventing the wheel and chasing new things.
Stop starting over.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why do we keep doing that?
Yeah.
There's things that work for us consistently. And if we also got really good at doing open houses and remembered that when we took a listing, we should be marketing that listing like from beginning to end, coming soon, all the, postcards, the mailers, the open houses. I mean, come on. If we're doing it the way we should be getting 2 pieces of business per every listing we take. Are you squeezing the juice out of that listing? I don't think we are. You would have a lot more business if you were. Look at all the listings you've taken. Have you gotten at least 2 pieces of business from each listing this year? If you haven't, then you're not doing your job.
One buyer, one seller from every listing. That's kind of the standard. And this is why, again, we go back to what Anna Kruger said yesterday. We've moved from 75 contacts to a closing to 150 contacts to a closing. So we've got to get better at our conversations. She's doing that free session tomorrow at 2 o'clock Eastern. I'm putting the link in the chat right now. You all should be there. George Freelove, good morning.
Good morning, James. Yeah, it really boils down to your attitude. Life is tough, so get over it. I mean, I sold houses at 18% interest rate. If you've been divorced, if you've had a foreclosure, if you've moved, if you've done everything there, yeah, it's just a matter of getting up every day, going into your office, closing the door, and doing the work each and every day, and you will succeed over time.
And then when you do this, it allows you to hold the line. That's the goal. Just don't let the business go backwards. Folks, if you did 24 last year, do 24 this year, and you're winning because the market's declining. You're actually picking up speed. Tomorrow, we'll talk about making sure that we are protecting that fortress, or putting a fortress around the things that matter, around the most important thing. We're going to talk about that tomorrow, so I hope you'll come back. But we are back to the basics up in here. That's what we got to do in a market that's ever evolving. So thanks for choosing to be here this morning. Inspire members, noon Eastern is when I'll see all of you for our leads from your socials, because that's what we want, leads, not likes. So we'll see you at noon Eastern. Everybody else, we'll see you tomorrow. You got your inspiration. Go put in the perspiration. Bye.
Thank you, James.
Got it.
Thanks, James.
Okay.